Hello YouTube. Today I just want to discuss the accuracy of the Kris Defiance 22 LR rifle. So the setup I was using at 25 meters was a bipod and quite a cheap optic. I mean, the optic's only like 60 odd quid, but it actually performs quite well. And the ammunition I was using was SK Match rifle, which I put 250 rounds of SK Match rifle through the rifle, and then I put 50 rounds of Center X through the rifle. This ammunition is supposed to be better quality than the SK Match. However, my rifle did seem to prefer this ammunition when it came to grouping. The actual groups I was doing was 5-round groups at 25 meters in the prone position. And this was the first groupings that I'd done to warm the rifle up. As you can see, there's some good groupings and some not so good groupings, but all in all, they're not too bad. Okay, so just go and give you a size comparison. Got some pennies. Okay, so the first group I'd done when I first started, the first 5 rounds I put for the rifle with this group here, and it went from this target to 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 this target. Okay. All right. So looking at this 5-round group here at 25 meters in the prone position, a 10p piece covers that up nicely. Okay. And bearing in mind that was the first 5 rounds that I fired through the rifle, so the barrel was probably warming up a bit. Okay. If you discount that one shot there, yeah, the 4-round group gets covered up by a 5p piece. So it's not too bad. Okay, so then we went on to this group in here. As you can see, this was another 5-round group, and this gets covered up by a 5p piece. So there you go. That gives you a bit of a size comparison to the grouping. That's not pretty bad grouping, especially for a semi-automatic. This was the next target. Unfortunately, I did pull the shot on this one. Yeah, so as again, that 4-round group gets filled up with a 5p piece. And if I do the 5-round group, it's just a tad little bit bigger than a 10p piece. But all in all, still not bad. That was shooter error though. Up here, the grouping spread a little bit. I'm not too sure why. But considering that there's 2 rounds there and then 3 rounds there, that was probably more down to shooter error than the actual rifle itself. Okay. But that group still gets pretty much covered up by a 10p piece. Same, this was the next group. 10p piece covers up that 5-round group. A 4-round group gets covered up by the 5p piece. Okay, and this was the best group on the whole card, I think. This was a 5-round group, and as you can see there, the shots are all nice tightly together. That gets covered up by a 5p piece. Okay. So the next card I went on to was this card here. And I went from here, here, here. I didn't shoot those 2 targets. And I went from here, 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 and then here. Okay. So the first 5-round group we can see here, it's nice and tight. And that gets covered up by a 5p piece. This was the next group. A little bit less tighter than the last one, but nonetheless still pretty good. That gets covered up by a 10p piece. We try it with the 5p piece. It's just slightly bit bigger than a 5p piece. Okay. This is the next group. Up here, you can see you got 3 rounds here and then 2 rounds there. Yeah. That's pretty much the size of a 5p piece. Maybe a tad a little bit bigger. Nope, the 5p piece covers that. There's the next group. This one wasn't so great. As you can see, I've got 3 rounds here, 1 there and 1 there, so that's probably down to shooter error more than the rifle. Okay, even so, 5p piece covers up that 4 round group, and a 10p piece covers up the actual 5 round group. Okay, the next 5 round group is a pretty good group. It's 5 round group, nice and all together. There you go, that gets covered up by a 5p piece. The same with the groups up here. It's a nice tight group. 5p piece covers that one. And then what we have here is another 5 round group, which looks to be like there's 3 rounds in the centre and then 2 rounds there. So again, it's probably shooter error, that one. And then that gets covered up by a 10p piece. Or a 1p piece. Okay. So the next card I shot was this one. So this would have been 100 and this would have been after 100 rounds, so this would have been 150 on this card. Okay. And there you can see you got a 5 round group there. A 5 round group there. That, I don't know what I've done there, but that's definitely shooter error, not rifle. I'll say that was shooter error as well. There's a nice little 4 round group, and then you got the 1 shot there that's dropped. Nice 5 round group there. That one's not so great. That one's opened up a little bit more. That one, I don't know what was going on with that one. And then you've got this one here as well, which is another 5 round group, which is not too great for that one. Just a size comparison from that. It's roughly a little bit bigger than a 10p piece for that group. However, I do believe at this point my suppressor was starting to come loose, because after I shot that card, this was my grouping results for the next card, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? So I tried the suppressor, and the suppressor was loose. So I do feel that maybe the suppressor was coming loose there, and that's why the grouping started to open up a little bit more. And then this was after another 50 rounds that I shot on this card, and as you can see, the groupings have opened up massively. It's not grouping too well, so I decided to check the suppressor, and when I checked the suppressor on the end of my barrel, it just turned out that it needed tightening up. And so I tightened up the suppressor, and I put a pull through the barrel, and then this was my next bunch of groups. And as you can see, the groups have gone back to being pretty spot on again. Okay, and this was after I tightened up the suppressor and I gave it a nice pull through. And as you can see, the groups have started to cluster up together nicely again. Okay, so point to note, if you are flying a rifle and you've got a suppressor on it and your groups do start to opening up, try testing your suppressor to make sure that it's not come loose a little bit. Okay, as you can see there, 5 round group gets covered up by a 5p piece. Here's another 5 round group here. Not as good as the last one, but it's still pretty good. Gets covered up by a 5p piece. Another 5 round group up here. Gets covered up by a 5p piece. Okay. We've got a nice, I think this one was actually probably a 6 round group by the looks of it. However, gets covered up by a 5p piece. Same with this one. 5 round group. Gets covered up by a 5p piece. Same here, 5 round group. gets covered up by 5p piece. 5 round group here. Slight bit bigger than the 5p piece, however a 10p piece does cover that up. Okay, here's a nice 5 round group here. 5p piece there, and another 5 round group here, and that's a 5p piece covered up there. So that was after shooting 250 rounds of SK match through the rifle, and as you can see, if you do your part, the rifle will do its part as well. Okay, so for a semi-automatic rifle, it's actually pretty accurate, I feel. My sight is slightly off. I do need to bring it up a bit. However, I was just doing group size testing, and I wasn't too bothered about hitting the centre of the target. Okay, but as you can see there, this rifle will produce the goods if you do your part. Okay, and that's pretty good for a semi-automatic rifle. All right, you're getting groups there roughly to the same as my CZ452, which is the varmint version, and it has a heavy barrel. So you can see there that this rifle is quite an accurate rifle. Okay, I do believe this is more accurate than my old Smith & Wesson that I had, by far, and that's probably because the Kris has a thicker barrel and it also has a metal receiver instead of a plastic one. Okay, so after that I did try Center X, okay, because this is supposed to be a better round, a nicer quality round, considering this is £10 a box and that one's £6.70 a box. But I thought I'd give it a try. Okay, so bearing in mind I did only put 50 rounds of Center X through my Kris, but it does seem to like the SK match better. Okay, and yes, I did pull my barrel through before I shot the Center X. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got a 5 round group here. Yeah, it's okay, it's not bad, but it covers up a 10p piece. Got another 5 round group here. That's opened up quite a lot. As you can see, it's slightly bigger than a 10p piece. Another 5 round group here, which the 4 round group here was really nice. However, that one shot there did spoil it. And it's a little bit bigger than a 5p piece. However, a 1p piece will cover up that 4 round group. Okay, we've got another 5 round group up here. As you can see, that's opened up quite a bit. And if you compare, I mean, it's covered up by a 5p piece, but I mean, if you compare these groups to the SK match rounds are so much better. Here's a 4 round group. 3 rounds gets covered up by a 5p piece. And I'm sure if I could find that 10p would cover up that group. Okay. Here's another 5 round group. I mean, unfortunately, the group in itself, that 4 round group's okay, but then you get that 1 round that just spoils it, which is a bit of a downer. And then you've got another 5 round group here, slightly bigger than a 5p. Actually, no, the 5p does cover it up. Got a 5 round group up here, slightly bigger than a 5p piece, but I do believe a 10p piece will cover that up. Got another 5 round group here, which the 4 rounds is okay, but then you've got the 5 round group that does get covered up by a 5p piece. And then here you go, you've got another 5 round group down here, which the 4 rounds are fine, and then you got the round down there. So I mean, it's a little bit bigger than the 5p piece if you count that 5th round. If you don't, then it covers up the 4 round group with the 5p piece. However, that could be shooter error. I could have been getting a bit tired at this point because this was 300 rounds at this point. However, I did expect this ammunition to perform better than the SK Match, but I do find in my rifle particularly, it prefers the SK Match. I mean, if you compare the group sizes to the SK Match, look how nice and tight they are. You get more consistent tight groups with them than you do with the Center X. Okay, I did find though that unfortunately I haven't got any cards of these, but I did find using CCI mini mags and using CCI subsonics that the rifle does actually group pretty much the same as it does with the SK Match. So it seems to like those type of bullets anyway. So that was just a video that I just wanted to show you of the accuracy of the Kris Defiance. Yeah, I do believe this rifle is very accurate, especially for the type of rifle that it is. It's not a target rifle. Okay, it's more of a type of plinking rifle. However, as you can see by the group sizes, if you do your part, the rifle's capable of producing some really good tight groups. Okay, and also that was with a cheap Milbro sight, so they want no fancy sight on there either. Yeah, and it groups really well. I'm really pleased with the accuracy of this rifle. So thank you for watching, and have a nice day.